Joining us now, two of Newt Gingrich's staunchest supporters. They happen to be his daughters, Jackie Gingrich Cushman and Kathy Gingrich Lubbers. Ladies, thanks very much for coming in. How disappointed is your dad that he didn't win both of these southern states?
Well, he's not disappointed at all. He's very happy to be here in Alabama and Mississippi. It was actually a photo finish. There was not a very big gap at all. So I think he would have, of course, liked to have won. The reality is he's going to walk away from tonight with more delegates than he had before tonight. So that's very good. That's a very positive thing. I think he's got a great point. For months, we have been hearing that Mitt Romney is the inevitable candidate. Well, clearly, he is not inevitable because it hasn't happened yet. So we're really focusing on the race for the long haul, the 1,144 delegates needed to secure the nomination. And the reality is nobody is there yet, and we're going all the way to Tampa.
So Kathy, the notion of him dropping out, even though he didn't win both of these states, didn't win one of these states, that notion we should forget about because he came close, wasn't close enough.
Well, we can't listen to what the elite media says about our father dropping out. He's good for his word. And as you've heard him say, this is going to be a dialogue with the American people, and he's the one that can actually beat Barack Obama. The president is actually already responding to his messaging about $2.50 a gallon gasoline. There were 5 different instances this week where the president or the White House was responding, commenting, making press comments. There's a reason for that. Our father has already taken the dialogue to President Barack Obama. He's the one in the end who's going to be the best to debate him and to lead the conservative Republicans through this race. So we're in this the long haul with our father, and we think he's going to take it all the way to Tampa and beyond.
But, Kathy, you have to admit that Rick Santorum really has a lot of that political momentum right now, much more than your dad.
I think a couple of things. I think if you look at Senator Santorum, he did very well tonight in Alabama and Mississippi. Dad congratulated him on his good night, and I'd like to do the same thing, congratulate him on his good night. But part of what's going to happen during this process is people are going to get to know Senator Santorum and his record better and better as every day goes on. And in the end, what they're going to find out is that under my dad's leadership as Speaker, that the deficit went down $20 trillion. When Senator Santorum was in leadership on the Senate, they actually increased the deficit by $1.7 trillion. So it's a huge difference. 20% decline for my dad, $1.7 trillion increase for Senator Santorum. I think when you look at their records, and even Governor Romney said this week that Senator Santorum wasn't as fiscally conservative as he was. Now, I'm not going to compare the two, but I think as time goes on, the voters will go out and look at their records and realize that my father, who balanced the budget for 4 years, who reformed welfare as Speaker, who cut taxes and cut spending, he stood up and governed with President Clinton, that he is the only candidate that we have that can actually get conservative ideals done in Washington.
And this notion,
to just back
Kathy, let me just interrupt for a second because we're almost out of time. But this notion that he's only won 2 states out of, what, almost 20 contests so far, what does that say?
Well, the reality is, even as we get through this process, Louisiana is where the halfway point of this game, football game, if you want to use an analogy that the Deep South does really resonate with. So there are a lot of delegates yet to be determined. The inevitable candidate definitely is no longer inevitable, and I think that our father is going to continue the pace and the duration is going to be well for him. Over the duration of this race, he's going to continue to do better and better, and the people will get to know his political perspectives, his solutions for America. And if you need more information, go to newt.org. There is plenty of information there for all of your viewers.
All right, ladies, thanks so much for joining us. I'm sure we'll continue this conversation now that we know your dad is staying in this race. Appreciate it very much. And coming up, we'll have a closer look at the